For this week's POW, we're looking at a stadium, and you had 4 things that you had to figure out for your answer. In the first section, you had to figure out how many seats were empty. In the second part, you had to figure out how many seats are in each section of the stadium. For part C, you had to figure out how many rows were in each section. And part D, you had to figure out the total ticket sales in dollars for Friday's game. So this POW has a lot of pieces. We're going to take them one by one, and I'll help you set up your expressions. So for part A, we're looking to figure out how many tickets were sold. Well, for part A, we're looking to figure out how many tickets or how many seats are empty. To do that, we're looking at the total number of seats in the stadium, and we're going to subtract from that the total tickets sold, because each ticket that's sold represents 1 seat. And if 8,395 tickets are sold, that means 8,395 seats are being occupied for the game. So to find out what seats are empty, you're going to subtract those 2 numbers. And that answer is how many seats are empty. For part B, you need to figure out how many seats are in each section. Well, again, our stadium holds 10,500 seats. And our stadium has 12 sections. So if it's broken up into 12 sections, and it's broken up evenly into 12 sections according to the word problem, then I can take the number of seats in the stadium and divide it by 12. That will give me how many seats are in each section. Okay? And this is an important bit of information because you're going to need part B to answer the question in part D. So first, and you're actually going to need this answer for part C as well. So we're going to figure out next how many seats or how many rows are in a section. If I have 35 seats per row, well, then I can take the number that we figured out in part B, how many seats in a section, and I can divide that by 35. By doing that, I'm dividing the number of seats in the section by the number of seats in each rows, and then I can figure out how many rows are in each section. So now I have parts A, B, and C done. The hard part now is part D. For Friday's game, the premium section is 30% full. What are the total ticket sales in dollars for Friday's game? So I know that I sold tickets in both types of sections, the regular section, general admission, and the premium section. I know this because the premium section is only 30% full, okay? And the amount of tickets that I sold, the stadium is over 3/4 full, okay? So I have to have seats in both types of sections. So the first thing that I need to do is figure out how many seats are premium seats. And to do that, I have to go back to the top of my word problem. So I know that I have 12 total sections. I know 10 are regular sections, but I also know that 2 of them are premium sections. So when we figured out how many seats are in a section, that's just one section. I've got 2 premium sections. So I have to take the answer to part B, and I have to multiply that by 2. That's going to give me the total seats, total premium seats. Okay? But not all of the premium seats were sold. It said that that section is 30% full. So I have to find out what 30% of the total premium seats are. So to do that, I'm going to multiply the total number of premium seats by 30%. And in all honesty, it's best to take 30% and convert it as a decimal. Okay? Whatever that answer is, that is going to be the seats sold in premium section. Okay? Now, I'm not giving you the numbers to these answers. You have to figure that out yourself. It may sound like I'm speaking gibberish, but follow along with what we're doing. Take your notes and consider these statements as being your variables. Okay? So once I know the number of seats sold in the premium section, well, I can figure out how much those seats cost by multiplying that by the ticket price, which is $48.95. Okay? And then I can also take that amount and I could subtract it from the number of seats or the number of tickets that were sold, because that will give me the number of regular seats. Okay? So once I have the number of seats in the regular section that were sold, I can multiply that by the ticket price, which is $27.95. Okay, and I'll take that dollar amount and add it to the price of the tickets in the premium section. So there's 4 things that you have to do for your POW. How many seats are empty? How many seats in each section? How many rows in each section? And then the final price for how much money they made from ticket sales alone for Friday's game. I would recommend writing a sentence for each part. I would highly recommend, explaining what we just did. Put it in your own words. You can use bullet points, and then show your work. Listing the way I have it on the screen, like this, you can't use that for both showing your work and explaining your steps. It will count for one or the other. Capiche? Get all those things done and have the right answer, and you'll get 100 on your POW. Your POW is due on Friday.